Once upon a time, in a land of myth, at a time of magic, two legends were born, unbeknownst to their powers, though distant in relations, both destined for greatness, bound together on a most daunting fellowship, where they must join together, or fall into the darkness of our strongest enemies. So it was settled that two now so-called teammates packed their bags, said their final goodbyes, and traversed through the lands of Dungeon Quest, not knowing if they'd ever make it back home. Albeit having no rest, day or night, they kept pushing through the pain, ventured through all the lands that the game had to offer, until we finally came across their first dungeon of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy. This is gonna be a banger.
That being said, may I welcome you to the very first episode of the new series, Duo, Noob to Godly, Mage and Warrior Edition. Like, subscribe and enjoy. Introducing the team. First we have Dragon, my duo. He's a Dungeon Crawler Pro, he's a god, he's going to be my carry. And then there's me. So, rules. Number 1, starting off, we can only use 2 classes at the same time. What does that mean? That means that I'll be going Warrior, I can only use Warrior Armors, I can only use Warrior Weapons, and I can only use Warrior Spells. Simple enough, right? On the other side, you have Dragon, who can use the Mage Armors, the Mage Weapons, and the Mage Spells. And he can also use the occasional heal if we need it. But that means there'll be no Guardians. So there's no specific roles, it's just going to be us two. So number 2, we can only trade amongst ourselves. What does that mean? That means we can have no free legendary gear or any gear given to us, but we can trade ourselves. Number 3, we can only play as a duo. That means no friends, no carries, simply just me and Dragon. That's it. Number 4, no crafting. That means we won't be crafting any of the craftable legendaries in the game, as I feel that kind of goes away from the fact of playing and makes it a bit easy. And number 5, have fun, because if we're not, then what's the point? But without further ado, let's get into Desert Temple, the first dungeon of the video. Let's go. So to start off, the first thing they want us to do is to complete a tutorial. So the game didn't used to have this all the years ago, back when I used to play, but now it does. And basically, it's kind of to help out new players that haven't played the game before and give them a view of what the game's like. So, you know, the spells, the bosses, the leveling system, all of that fun stuff. So I'm just going to have to complete this, and then we're going to go to the lobby and meet up with Dragon once he's completed his side of things as well. So going to speed it up, bring some music in, let's get it. So now we've got back to the lobby, we're with Dragon, and it's telling us to choose a class. So as I said before, Dragon's going to go Mage and I'm going to go Warrior. So we're going to click the Warrior. Here it's given us some items, so we obviously got some in the tutorial game that we did before. So if we just have a look at our inventory, oh, we have to upgrade our new weapon first. Okay, I was kind of wondering where the where the inventory tab was then, but we've got to upgrade it alrighty. Let's open. So it wants us to do the blue weapon first, upgrade it all into physical, click it off, go to the inventory, equip the weapon. It's got a very low potential, that's not great. Go to skills, put it all in physical. Obviously we're a warrior, so Dragon's is going to go into spell or mage, you know, whatever way you want to call it. So we're going to play, we're going to create a party. We're going to do Desert Temple this video, guys. So the plan of this video is basically to go from level 1 to level 30. And then episode 2 is going to be Winter Outpost, so on and so forth. So hopefully we get some good drops. Hopefully you guys enjoy. We're on medium mode now because we got level 5 from the tutorial. So we're going to create a party because we want Dragon to join. And yeah, here's our 2 accounts. So if we're looking at our inventory at the moment, which now we have the inventory tab, we're looking at a pretty rough set. But you know, the Tone Club, you know, to be fair, at the moment I don't think it matters too much right now. So we're going to use this armor set. Dragon's running mage at the moment. So yeah, we're basically just going to run through medium mode, see what it's like, and get our levels up. So yeah, let's start the dungeon. So guys, here we are in our first game of us being together, and at the moment, obviously, we're kind of even at the moment, you know, mage and warrior, they're kind of similar. There's not room at the moment for one to be better than the other, realistically, and if there is in the first dungeon, then you got problems. So, right now, we're clearly speeding through it. At the moment, Dragon has double speed spells, so he's kind of taking the lead, but I don't mind that, you know, it keeps me out of harm's way. So, you know, we're killing him pretty easily. There's no complaints from me. You get a lot of XP in these dungeons, so don't you worry about that. It's not the case later on, though, as you'll find out. But, yeah, first boss, Sand Scorpion, it's pretty chill. You know, the attacks are pretty nice. I can't lie, you know, they're all good. You know, if I met him on the streets and we did a 1v1, I'd like my chances. That's all I'm saying. But, yeah, this first dungeon so far, pretty good. You know, I am lacking behind a bit. Hopefully that won't be the case the entire series. I mean, I did say he is my carry, and don't get me wrong, he definitely is. The experience he has in dungeon crawlers, you know, over the past few years, there's not many people like him. So, you know, got to give praise where praise is due. And I'm just kind of picking up the scraps at the moment. But, you know, that's all good, you know, because it's teamwork, this is. This is Dragon doing his part, me doing mine. And, you know, that's all we want. We don't want a one-man show. We want, you know, 50-50 teamwork. At the moment, it's not really 50-50, but that's still good. Because we're at the boss now, Sangolem. Gotta say, very clean boss. From what it used to be back in the day, as I'll mention later on. It's a much better improvement. I especially like it, you know. Out of all the things Voldex could have done with this game, this is one of the good things they did. So yeah, this dungeon's pretty cool. This boss room is cool. I like the gold features. And, you know, we're about to kill it. Let's see what loot we get. Hopefully, we get something beneficial. That's all I'm aiming for. Don't know what loot we can get, but let's have a look. Level 12. Ooh, that's nice. So we got 2 blues and a purple. Believe that's a mage helm. Right, that is very good. Very happy with that. Right, next thing we're going to do is upgrade the weapon that we got and the armor piece. Obviously, we don't have a lot of gold, so we can't fully upgrade either of them, but they are both very good pieces. You know, if it was green and below, I probably would have left it, but the fact that they are pretty good rarities, we're going to max out, or as much as we can, because anything helps. So, I do have a blue mage helm, but Dragon got a better one, so there's no point in trading him because, well, he already had better gear. So, we're going to go straight into another game, and yeah, hopefully we can get better loot as well. Let's go! On to the next game. So, we're getting pretty good levels right now, you know, can't complain. You know, I would prefer it to be, you know, a little bit more grindy, but it's going to be later on. So, you know, I'm going to keep saying that a lot. You are going to hear me say it a lot, but that is the truth, because you new players, you don't understand the pain it's going to be later on. Right now, it's easy. This is you know, what they want you to think, but it's just not the case. So, you better buckle in, because there's going to be a lot of episodes. You know, we've already recorded a few, so if this like goal gets hit, the new video's coming out instantly. And bro, we are passionate about this game, bro. We have been playing it for years. We have been playing it for literal years. When it first came out, we were playing it. We've played every single update. You know, we have a lot of nostalgia for this game. You know, we think it's great. I mean, you know, it's kind of dead now, but you know, we don't think about that. We think about the good times. And the good times right now is us killing this boss and hopefully getting some good loot. Not sure what we're gonna get though, but we are killing it very quickly. You know, we have a lot of time left, so that's not a problem. Might be later on though. So let's see what we get. Okay, so we get some good gear. Don't know if we're going to need any of it though. Alrighty guys, so I'm not actually too sure if the last game that I recorded crashed on OBS, so that might not have been recorded. But in any case, here's some of the items we got. So we got nothing beneficial that game, I don't believe, to what we already have. Do you get anything, Dragon?
Well, I got myself 100% silver sight with 92 spell power, so that's pretty nice.
That is pretty epic, bro. So at the moment, we're level 16. Gonna put my skill points in, but now we can get hard mode completed, hopefully. Anyways, first dungeon's usually pretty simple. So without further ado, let's get into hard mode. Hardcore, of course, because we can survive pretty easily. and created the game. And yeah, let's see what loot we can get. Let's go. So, slightly better gear, slightly better stat points, being the high level that we are. We're going through the dungeon with ease. You know, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This first dungeon is meant to be easy, it's meant to be accessible, it's meant to be fun, it's meant to be rewarding, and it's meant to keep players playing. So obviously, if they were failing every game, they won't keep playing the game. So it's meant to be easy. Novice title, super. We're going to be collecting a lot of titles, you know, as this goes on. So, you know, that'll be a nice addition to our collection, the first one that we ever get. So that's pretty cool. This dungeon as well, it's pretty short in length. The other dungeons are a little bit longer. So, you know, the time that we have again is quite high because we're doing this really quickly, even if you were solo. I mean, hell, if you were in a group, you'd be doing it even quicker than we are because the bosses would be absolutely shredded with their HP in the bigger groups because the percentage per player is less than the HP you get per person. So, let's see what we get. Okay, just quickly giving Dragon some of the mage gear that I got spare that he's going to need. Unfortunately, he doesn't have anything better for me, but in my case, that's okay. So I'm just going to upgrade the weapons and armors that I do have. So I have the warrior helmet, which is blue, which is great to be fair. So we can fully upgrade that. I want to focus my spending on that. So we're not going to have enough to upgrade the others, but we can put the upgrades in that we can. A couple more games and we should be alright. But we've got a pretty solid loadout so far. You know, I'm not mad about it. You know, because now we've technically got a blue set, you know, the chest isn't again, but it's all good. So I'm happy with that. We're going to go into another hard game, hardcore mode. Hopefully, one of us can pull a legendary. Maybe. By the DQ gods, if they're listening, hopefully we can drop one. Right, guys, so as you can see, we are both level 25. This is what my set's looking like. I've got a blue set with a purple weapon. And yeah, we're basically just going to go into this last mode. This should, hopefully, take us to Winter Outpost. So at the moment, obviously leveling up in this dungeon seems to be a lot quicker than doing it in the original version, as there's not as many modes either. This only has easy, medium and hard, whereas the other had insane and nightmare. So obviously this is more beginner and like noob friendly because you only have to play a couple of games. If anything, it's kind of a troll because you know, the higher the dungeons we get, we obviously know how long it takes to level up. So, you know, it's kind of creating a false sense of, you know, security, thinking like, you know, this is how the game's always going to be, but that isn't the case. But yeah, the Sand Scorpion, I've got to say, it's a pretty good attack for a first dungeon. It's a definite upgrade on the original. Well, I mean, in saying that, there wasn't a second boss in the original Desert Temple, it's just the last boss, so even having that in the first place is pretty epic. But yeah, at the moment, I'd say with the speed spells, Dragon's got 2 of them, so Mage is doing slightly better this dungeon in regards to the 2 of us, but they seem to be pretty fairly balanced at the moment. What do you think, Dragon?
Well, I know we start off with Warrior, but yeah, I'd say they're both fairly balanced.
Yeah, they do seem that way, to be fair, which is kind of good. That's not going to be the case for all the dungeons, but for this one we're in right now, it's not too bad. And, you know, hopefully we can get a legendary on this boss. And, you know, in fairness, we're only level 27 now, so we're probably actually going to have to play another game to get level 30. But yeah, it's a pretty enjoyable dungeon. I enjoyed this one a lot more than the original, I've got to say, for replayability wise, and it is something different, so that might be why. But it's still easy enough for new players to where it's not difficult, and it's not going to make them rage quit. But you know, it's added a little bit extra to what it used to be. And you know, I think in today's age, if you know, a new player played the old Desert Temple and this one, they'd probably like this one a lot more. But yeah, level 28, we got a legendary! Yo! Let's go! No way, bro. And I think it's Mage, so Jagger's going to be using that. Right, guys, that was kind of crazy. So, as well as me pulling the legendary, which is kind of crazy, yes, I know the drop rates are higher, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But Dragon also got a 100% purple mage piece, which is kind of crazy. So if you can send me another trade, Dragon, the other one just bugged, so I can send you this legendary over. But bro, this is crazy. This is kind of one-sided. I mean, I got some decent gear. 40%, okay, the potential's not the greatest, but it is a legendary, so, I mean, you know, it's better than not having one. I didn't really get any upgrades, but, you know, that's okay. We got the upgrade for the legendary. Dragon's going to be ridiculously OP now. What's your set looking like right now, Dragon?
I'm using a purple Guardian helmet because, let's be honest, Guardian does tend to be pretty good at the start of Dungeon Quest.
Yeah, that's true. To be fair, because the health kind of matters more. To be fair, I remember in King's Castle that was kind of the case. They'd be using Guardian pieces or putting stamina points in instead of damage to get the health up.
I remember people cursing the Titan Forge armor into like warrior or like mage, and just having insane HP to tank all the boss attacks.
Yeah, it was pretty cooked, bro. But yeah, for now we're gonna go into our hard mode, last game hopefully before we get level 29, and then we'll be moving on to Winter Outpost. So without further ado, let's just get the games done, and hopefully we can pull another legendary or something for war. Not that we need it, but wouldn't say no. So yeah, let's go. Okay guys, I've got to remember to put my skill points in, because obviously you get a lot of levels in these dungeons, and you can easily quite forget to do it. So that's my stats anyways. But yeah, overall this is quite a quick dungeon. It's obviously a lot quicker than what it used to be. So we've only had to play a couple of games to get to 30, which is what you want, to be fair, if they want to keep the play base, not get entirely bored in the beginning of their journey on this game. So yeah, overall, this dungeon, I'd say the map's solid, it's a solid 7 out of 10, compared to the later ones. They're obviously a lot better, but it's pretty solid foundations. For a new starter, I'd say the bosses are solid mechanically, and the mobs are pretty good compared to any other dungeon game. And yeah, overall, I'd say it's a pretty solid dungeon. What do you think, Dragon?
I'd say this is pretty decent for the start of the game. I'd say.
Yeah.
I know Voldex was wanting to get players just to play more.
100%, man. So yeah, we just got level 30, which is pretty epic, because after this game we will be going on to Winter Outpost, the legacy version that is, or whatever the newest version is, because I feel that's best. So hopefully that should take a little bit longer than this, but either way it should be awesome, man. We're gonna be seeing this Noob to Godly throughout. Don't know how many episodes, don't know how long it's gonna take, but hopefully you guys are gonna stay here with us, and honestly just comment anything, because we haven't played this game in ages in respects to the older dungeons. So we might have forgotten some stuff, or you guys might have some tips or tricks to help us complete them. So feel free to let us know. But yeah, on the last boss right now, see if we can get any good loot. But this will be the final run of Desert Temple before we go on to Winter Outpost. So yeah, let's see if we can get anything good. And saying we just got a legendary, but can't help to get another. Okay, I don't know what that spell is, but we got another warrior spell, and that could be mage. So with that dungeon being said, Dragon basically got 3 spells and another mage piece that he doesn't need, because he's already got ridiculous loot. I ended up getting a mage spell, which Dragon also got, but apparently it's not good, so we're not going to use that. I did get a better weapon though, but at the moment all these other items I'm not going to need, so we're obviously going to sell them. But I'm going to keep this blue weapon, this golden power max, because when it is maxed out it's going to be the better weapon. So we're going to sell these. I did get Gale Slice. I think I might actually use that, see what it's like. So I'm going to switch that, not with my speed spell but with my other one, because I feel that's going to still be pretty valuable to have. So I'm going to keep that in my Q slot, and I'm going to upgrade my other weapon, and hopefully it could be quite a little bit better, I'm hoping. So if we fully max this out, we should have enough gold. It goes to 93. Okay, so that is better than the one we have, because I believe it's 80 something. 81. Okay, so this is better. So we're currently leaving with a blue set. I mean, the chest is 0% level 5, but it's still a blue set. And what have you currently got, Dragon? Is it sort of the similar set you had to last game? I don't think we got many upgrades, did we?
It is still the same set as last game. There really isn't that many upgrades that you can get as mage, in Desert Temple.
Yeah, that is very true. But with that being said, I'm going to complete the tutorial outside of the video, because I just want to focus purely on the dungeons, and I don't think the tutorial would last this long, to be honest. I thought it was just doing the first dungeon, getting you some feel to the game. I mean, this is helpful, but it's not helpful to us because we've already played. So I'm going to get all this done outside of the video, but the next time you will see us is doing Winter Outpost. Hopefully we can drop more legendaries, hopefully we can get better loot, and it's only going to get better from here. So thank you very much guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like. It's 100 likes for part 2. It is quite a crazy like goal, but I feel we can do it. So yeah, that's basically it from me. That's it from Dragon, and we'll see you next video. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. Bye.